5 on Your Sideline is sponsored by Sidon Stricker Nobi John Deere.
Welcome into 5 on Your Sideline. I'm Corey Miller, and if you're in the mood for baseball of all levels, good blues hockey vibes, and even a little bit of rock and roll, you are in the right place. So first, let's head to the high school diamond. We're going to stop by CBC, check in on the cadets who came into today, down their 2 top pitchers, but trying to win districts still. CBC has already won a football and basketball title this school year, and the baseball team knows a championship is the standard for cadet athletics.
It's definitely in the back of our minds every year here. so those expectations are here every year that, if we're not competing for a state title, in our minds we've had a bad year.
But the Marquette Mustangs were standing in CBC's way for the district crown tonight, and they stood pretty strong. Marquette on the board first with 2 sac flies, one from Darian Lee and the other from Max Harris. And then you got to check out this catch from Mustang center fielder here. What a play. Here it comes. He's going to dive. Great play. Marquette ends CBC season with a nail-biter 8-7 victory in the district championship. Now Parkway Central at Chaminade, and this was a wild game, everybody. This is Nick Livingston right here. He gets the RBI signal for Chaminade. That tied the game at 9. And then check this out. One of the best slides I've ever seen. Great slide there from Parkway's Joe Cervo. That tied the game at 10. And it was Parkway Central who won this slugfest and the district title 13-12 over Chaminade. Now let's go to SLU. Junior Bills facing Howell Central in their district final. This is how you draw it up. Central gets the pretty 6-4-3 double play to get out of trouble there. Runs were hard to come by in this one. Central thought they'd get one on this sneaky suicide squeeze. No dice, however. Howell Central did scratch one across eventually to beat SLU 1-0 and win their district title. Everybody loves a comeback story, right? Well, the 2022 state champion Webster Groves boys golf team certainly has one to tell. The Statesmen finished 3rd last year and had high hopes for this year, but Webster was 12 strokes back after the first day of play at the state tournament. No problem. They ended up winning the state title by 8 strokes. It's the first boys golf title since 1954 for the Statesmen, and it's a memory they'll have for the rest of their lives.
I don't think any of us are going to ever forget this and what it felt like the other day holding that trophy up.
We were tied for second to last, and the last day we just figured it's our last tournament. Might as well have fun with it, but we all showed up and played really well.
Like my grandpa was telling me, he won 5 state championships as a coach. He said they still get together every year, so that's something I'm really looking forward to.
The girls one-upped us last year getting 2nd, so we had to one-up them back really quick. I'm getting 1st.
The Blues will be back in action at the Enterprise Center tomorrow night for Game 3 against the Avalanche. Last night, Craig Berube pushed all the right buttons once again to help his team tie the series. Here's what the team had to say about their huge win.
You look back to last year, they beat us 4 straight, then they beat us the first game. That's 5 in a row. I think guys realize, we got to step up and we got to beat this team. So they did tonight. That's really what it boils down to. They went into the game tonight hungry and weren't going to be denied.
Yeah, it's a big win, and it's a great response by us, and I think that's the most important thing right there. It's a long series, and we know it's going to be a long series, and we're going to play hard every game, and now we just got to get some rest and prepare for the next match.
That's playoffs right there for you, that big roller coaster. Obviously, we didn't feel good about ourselves last game. We probably had 2 or 3 players that had good games, that was it. And tonight we had a lot more guys, and it was important to find a way to win one here on the road, just like we did last time against Minnesota, and kind of keep pushing forward here.
While we may like to think we're rock stars going crazy when the Blues win, there's one guy who actually lived it. This Ozzy Osbourne mugshot in a Blues jersey has become folk legend in St. Louis over the past 38 years, so I set out to find the story behind it. When it comes to turning on a crowd, there aren't many better in rock history than Ozzy Osbourne. From his Black Sabbath days to the solo success, and even that bat incident, he's a beloved figure among heavy metal fans.
He was unpredictable, and that's what people loved about him, the godfather of heavy metal, Prince of Darkness.
But this English rocker is beloved in St. Louis, too, for one very specific reason. And to get the STL scoop on Ozzy Osbourne, there's really only one place I could go.
All right, Learn is next. Favad saying so long, farewell.
If you've seen his reality shows, you see also how lovable he is, you know. That anybody who's ever toured with him in his bands, they just love Ozzy.
I'll never forget from when he said to me, he goes, Favaz or Favaz, what a weird name, man.
Now, back to that infamous photo. It's 1984. Ozzy is in the middle of his Bark at the Moon tour. Our town is no stranger to big names back in the day, and Ozzy played here twice, including on May 3rd. At some point during his time in St. Louis, Ozzy acquires that classic blues shirt. On May 15th, 1984, Ozzy's playing in Memphis, and a night on the town goes off the rails.
80s Ozzy was when he was, you know, fueled by alcohol and drugs, and just about everything that you've read or seen or heard of is true.
Ozzy was arrested by Shelby County Police for public drunkenness after being found staggering on Beale Street at 12:30 a.m. wearing that blues jersey. And with one snap of the camera, a St. Louis folk hero was born. The Ozzy mugshot is on t-shirts. It's a popular profile picture during blues playoff season, and it even graces the walls at various establishments in town. Even the Blues themselves embrace the Prince of Darkness's connection to the franchise, with Ozzy cheering on the Blues during the 2019 Stanley Cup run. So even if Ozzy's hockey acumen may be non-existent,
zero, zilch, doesn't care. He just had the shirt on, that's all.
his wild night in Memphis left a mark here in St. Louis.
He has this cool image about him, you know, and he always is going to have that, you know. So yeah, I think St. Louisans have a lot of respect for Ozzy, his music, and him as a person, and Ozzy the character.
To have Ozzy wear your hometown hockey team's your shirt or whatever, even if it was a mugshot, it doesn't matter. It was just really, really cool. It's one of the greatest shots of all time.
Well, it was debut day for Nolan Gorman in Pittsburgh, so how'd he do? And what are the Cardinals' plans for him? We've got some inside insight on the new Cardinals slugger coming up after the break. It seems like for years now, Cardinals fans have been clamoring for slugger Nolan Gorman to get the call to the show. Well, fans can stop wishing. The top prospect debuted tonight with another young star, Matthew Liberatore, taking the mound tomorrow. I talked with the Athletics' Katie Wu about what the Cardinals' plans for both of these top prospects could be going forward. All right, Katie, first things first. Obviously, everybody's been clamoring for Nolan Gorman for a long time. He's here, he's in the lineup on Friday. But what's a realistic expectation? Because fans have built this call-up up really big in their heads.
And, you know, John Mozeliak, president of baseball operations, has always said that Gorman's playing time and his eventual call-up would come based on the opportunity. Cardinals clearly think that there's an opportunity for him to play every day now, and the expectation is that he'll play second base and Tommy Edman will play shortstop as the predominant middle infield options for the immediate future. Obviously, Nolan Gorman's been a top prospect, really prized for his bat. He's a prolific offensive player, and the Cardinals have been encouraged by how much he's improved defensively and switching from third base to second base over the last 18 months. My expectation is that we'll see Nolan Gorman plenty over the next couple of weeks.
So it's not just Nolan Gorman joining the team in Pittsburgh. His old buddy Matthew Liberatore is coming along with him. Why was now the right time for Liberatore to come up? I know the Cardinals need some innings out of their rotation. Why was he the one to get the call this time?
I think in Liberatore's case, it was a matter of both performance and circumstance. You know, he had a legitimate shot in spring to win a spot in the starting rotation, though the Cardinals ultimately elected to have him start the year in AAA so he could continue perfecting his arsenal and his command. Liberatore has 4 pitches that he can use when effective, and the hope was that he could continue fine-tuning that command in AAA. With the doubleheader on Tuesday in New York and starting pitchers Dakota Hudson and Jordan Hicks unable to go through 5 innings on Wednesday and Thursday, the bullpen was a little taxed. The Cardinals didn't want to push Miles Michaels or Steven Matz on 4 days rest. And the bullpen game was out of the question just based on the usage over the series in New York. So it made sense to look at Liberatore, what he's been doing lately for Memphis. And the opportunity arose for 2 Little League teammates, 2 grade school best friends to debut at the same time. You really couldn't write a better story than that.
So how did Gorman do in his debut? Well, the fam is all there in Pittsburgh, and they see him single in his first at-bat through the shift. Gorman went 1 for 3 with a walk. Grandpa emotional there. You love to see that kind of thing. And you love to see this, too. Yadier Molina is hot. He drives in the 2 biggest runs for the Cardinals of the game on that hit right there. Adam Wainwright was also great on the mound in this one. 7 innings, just 1 earned run. Giovanni Gallego struck out 5 batters in a row to shut this one down. Cards beat the Pirates 5-3. Let's check in on the PGA Championship. First, the Tiger Woods update. He shot a 69 today and did make the weekend cut at 3 over. However, it's this man coming up, Will Zalatoris, who's tearing it up in Tulsa. Zalatoris shot a 66 and a 65 to open his tournament and is currently sitting in the leading spot heading into the weekend at 9 under par. That'll do it for 5 on your sideline tonight. We'll leave you with some of last night's good times in Colorado and hope for some of the same tomorrow back home at Enterprise Center in Game 3. Have a great night, everybody.
A deflected shot over the shoulder of Kemper in St. Louis as the first goal of the game. Perron, he'll shoot, score! David Perron, a 5-on-3 power play goal. Blues by 2 late in the period. Avalanche have been pushing here, but they turn it over. It's a 2-on-1. Perron, he's got push damage.
5 on your sideline was sponsored by Sideline Stricker Nobi John Deere.